to the rehab exercises, which is it will only take about 15 minutes. It's very specific to injuries. Today we are covering knee injuries or just knee pain due to whatever reason. There's so many reasons why you would have knee pain. So what you will need is a pillow. It's not necessity, but if you have one close by, grab that. And a band. Also, not a necessity, but if you have one, that will help. You can also take a belt, or if you have someone with you, they can just hold your knees together for you when we get to that part. Okay, so knee pain. The exercises we're going to do is for general knee pain. Whether you have medial, which is on the inside, or lateral knee pain, it will kind of activate everything to elevate, alleviate, get rid of the knee pain. Okay, so along with usually with knee activation, you also need to release some muscles, which we won't do today. That is a completely different section, separate, and we'll do a separate release video where I am going to show you how to release some of those spasms in the mud, those tight muscles, the pressure points on both sides of the legs to help get rid of knee pain. Okay, I'm getting the wrong words. Okay, so the first exercise. So what we're going to do is we won't do the full because it will take a bit long. I'm just going to show you each exercise. You can write it down and the reps for that as well. The first one is quite good. So all of these exercises are quite easy to do. If you have pain in only one knee, you only do that leg for a week. If you have pain in both knees equal, you do both knees. And if you have pain where one knee is really sore and the other one is just niggling a bit, I would suggest you do a 2-1 or a 3-1 kind of rotation where you do 3 activations on the one leg, so 3 days of the one leg, and then both legs for 1 day, and then 3 separate again and both legs for 1 day, just to get the really sore one up to date to the other one that's either not sore or just slightly sore. The other thing which we will discuss when we discuss the release techniques is if you are have a little bit of a, how do I call it? So if you sit like this, I'll show you the real one, and your one foot turns out more than your other one, and you've got like that's usually the sore side as well. That would suggest that you have a sacroiliac joint, something niggling dysfunction as well, which we will discuss in the release program. So just be aware that you might be a little bit lopsided anyway. The one thing about the knee, I can say it's kind of the victim joint. So it's kind of the joint that takes the punches for dysfunction in the hip joint and the ankle joint. So the knee, which is the victim one, usually is the one that has the referred pain and then starts to have a lot of compression on the one side. If you have knees in, feet out, the compression would be lateral, but you might have a strain on the medial side. So your victim joint, we will work on your victim joint today. So the first exercise, let's say this is my sore leg. Put the pillow underneath your knee. For this one, you can either lie down, it doesn't matter, or you can sit up, lean back a little bit. That depends on your back or how lazy you are. No, not really. So the pillow underneath the knee, this is just to press into an extension. And the only thing you're all going to do is you're going to press down into that pillow with that leg. So I'm just going to take my other leg out of the way so that you can see. So you press down, so you're extending your knee and then release. If you lie down, you just press it down and release. Keep the tummy in as you do that. So press down, so you're extending quite a bit and release. You're activating all the quad muscles and release. So with this one, it is quite easy. It's a very nice little activation. And you can just do that nice and slow. And I would say for this one, you do 30 counts. So 30 release and relax. Press down and relax. Extension and relax. And then you stop and you do another 30. And you do 10 of them. So that's quite a lot. It's going to take a lot of time. So 30, stop a bit. 30 again, stop a bit, and continue for 10. So 30 sets of 10. 10 sets of 30. I don't know how to word that. 10 sets of 30? Yes. So that is the one thing. Only on the side where the knee is sore, or on both if both knees are sore. So just that, 10 sets of 30, and you will get quite bored. But this is activation exercises. This is very specific to the knee. And also, if your knee is really, really, really sore, whichever side, I'm guessing medial if you have knee in issues, then you need to just take some weight off for a week, maybe not go for your jog or walk, or take it slow just for a week so that those muscles can strengthen. Okay, that's the one thing. So write that down, the extension, 10 sets of 30. I said it right, 10 sets of 30. Okay. Then after that, a very simple one as well. You can lie down, the sore leg, that's the one that's straight. And this is just a mobility for the knee. So you send it out as far as you can. So this leg is massively extended, as you can tell. The quads are working, that knee is very extended. And then you just slide your heel on the mat. Ooh, not like me, as close to your bum as you can. So you find the biggest flexion for your knee, as close to your bum as you can, and you slide it down again. You can keep it slightly lifted so that you don't, if you have a mat like mine that's non-slip, it's quite difficult. So all you do is you slide it up and down. And for this one, you do 10 sets of 10. So this is good for mobilization, especially if you have stopped using your knee because of the pain. I know it is quite sore to do this if you have quite bad knee pain. So take it easy, lessen the sets if the pain gets too much. You don't want to overindulge. You don't want to overdo the pain. So this one, this is called the knee extension or heel roll. Oh, there's loads of names for this. So you can do this one, 10 sets of 10, and keep going. Your leg's going to get nice and tight, but that's what you want, but you don't want to overdo it. And back, down. The next one is just a leg lift. We're going to do 2 of these. We're used to this in the class, and most of you in the class have got the ability to do this quite well. Again, if your knee is quite sore, this can get quite painful. And all you do with the sore leg is you pick it up and you take it down. For this one, you're still lying down. So it's a leg lift, hip flexion, which you're working at. And for this one, you do 5 sets of 10. So not that much. The most of the sets sits in the lower activation exercises. These ones you don't want to overdo the hip flexors. So only 5 sets of 10. Take a rest after 10 and go again. 5 sets of 10. Write that down. I'm not going to do everything. This is just a guide as to how to do the knee rehab. And then when you're done with that, you can roll yourself up. You're going to be in a seated position. You can lie back for that, depending on how good you are with your flexion, or you can sit up nice and straight on your spine, tummy in, and just hold on to the floor. Keep yourself straight. And the sore leg, you're going to pick up in an extension. So just pick it up and put it down. It's not going to go that far. Pick it up and take it down. So this one is 3 sets of 10. You will feel by the 3rd set that you want to die. You can lean back a little bit. It doesn't matter that much. So you can, if you find it very difficult to sit up straight, just lean back a little bit and do that knee extension. So 3 sets of 10 for this one. So the first one was 30. We'll go through it again. Second one was I can't remember, no, 30 sets of 10, 10 sets of 10, 10 sets of 5 sets of 10, and 3 sets of 10. Oh, really? Okay, and relax. So that was basically the toughest one. Then we are going to go into a bridge. And this is because the band is just for people who tend to have their knees knocked in when they do these kinds of things. So use the band. You're not going to use the band for anything else but to push out so that you don't knock in the knees. So go onto your back, feet forward, knees forward, and lift up into your bridge. Shrug your shoulders under, tailbone tucked in, ribs tucked in, and just press against the band so that you're making sure that you're not doing an internal rotation of the hips. So pressure against the bands. And like we usually do in the class, it's quite simple. You're going to just pulse it a little bit. And you will feel the leg that you've been working feels kind of tired. So the pulsing will be 10 pulses. And then you're going to stop upstairs, hold it there, and you're going to pulse 10 again. And you're only doing 2 of them. So 2 sets of 10 pulses. I should have written this down because I keep forgetting. And then hold it up. And then when you're done with the 2, you can come down and take a rest. Knees out again. And then you're going to go up again. And then you're just going to push against the band. We do this in class a lot. It's a nice little rehab for the glutes. Glutes is part of the reason why the pressure is on your knee that much, because the hip joint probably needs a little bit of glute action to keep everything in line. So you won't go wrong doing the glutes. So just in and out. So you're doing 10 sets of 2 again. So the first one, 2 sets of 10. And the second one, 2 sets of 10 again. Don't go down between the sets, keep it up. Keep pushing up the tailbone, keep tucking in the ribs, keep a straight line, and just do the 2 sets of 10. You do this with me so that you get a feeling for how it feels. We're not going to do the full sets, but it does give you an idea of how you're going to feel afterwards. And then you come down after your 2 sets of 10 and 2 sets of 10, and just hugging your knees to give your back a little bit of a stretch before you come up. We're going to roll onto the side. Now, the leg that is sore is the leg that you want to move. So it's that, my top leg is my sore leg. You're going to lie down on your arms. You're going to keep the band there because you need that clam, feet together. And you're just going to lift that up with clam. And that resistance helps a lot. And you're just going to do with this one, you're doing 10 sets of 10 again. So clam 10 times. Keep your tailbone tucked in when you do this. Don't arch your back. Keep everything nice and straight and in. And you're just going to do 10 sets. You rest between the 10 and then come down. And then go again, 10. Rest in between and do another 10. So this is quite a lengthy one, but this is a very good glute medius exercise. It's a little bit tedious, but it's a good activation. Once your knees gets to a point where it's not that sore anymore, or it's got an equal feel, or your foot's turned in, then you can do both sides, which would be quite lengthy, but very beneficial. And then again, rest between your 10 and go again. 10 sets of 10. And then I want you to lift up that top leg and just take it back. And you're just going to lift up the leg towards the back. So you're resisting against that band and bringing it down. Resisting against the band and bringing it down. And this is going to be 10 sets of 10 as well. And I have said this millions of times before, but the glutes is quite an important part of having to fix the lower body dysfunction, which leads to knee pain, ankle pain, hip issues. So do these glute works do it with love, even though it's quite boring. Just keep doing it. 10 sets of 10, rest in between, and go again. Keep the band there. The resistance is good. Unless the resistance is too much for you, then do take it out and just take that leg. So as long as you take it back and not up and back, but not straight up, you're doing good. So 10 sets of 10 for that one as well. Okay, time to go up. Now with this one, you need a wall. And also, not only do you need a wall, I'm going to use that wall, you need the bands as well, especially if you tend to have knees that drop in, because that's probably what you're working against and what you're trying to fix. So I'm going to use that wall. The band is on your knees again, just there so that you can resist it. Can you see me? This is very simple. I'm just going to quickly show you. So take your feet forward, toes looking forward, feet hip distance apart. I'm going to show it to the front, but I want to show you against the wall what you're going to do. Press your back against the wall, tuck your tailbone in, and just go down into that wall slide. Once you're in the wall slide, I'm going to act like I'm doing a wall slide. Make sure your knees doesn't do this. So you have to resist against the band. Your back is against the wall. I'm not going to do it now because you won't see me. But imagine my back is against, I'm just doing a squat. It doesn't look like this. You're nice and straight, you're pushed back. And all you're going to do is you're going to stay down and slowly lift up. Slide up that wall until you get to the top. Oops. And slide down again, making sure the knees are out. And slide up again. I'm sticking to the wall. Slide up and slide down. And you're only going to do 5 because it's quite difficult, this one. Slide up, slide down. Make sure your knees doesn't go in, feet forward. And then when you get up again, take a rest. And go again, 5. Just 2 sets of 5. Sliding up, sliding down. Nice and slow. I can't do it with you, but feel that. You should feel quite tired after 5. When you get to the 5, get to the top. The next one, you're just going to go down and hold. You're going to hold it for 10 counts. 1, 2, knees out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's it. You can relax. The next one is a hamstring curl. So because you're already up and against the wall, you can use the wall to help you for balance. And the only thing you're going to do is you're going to take the sore leg. So the bridge and the wall squat is the only 2 where you use both legs, even though you're only doing 1. But the hamstring curl, you're taking the sore leg again, and the knees are together, and you'll just lift, So hold on to something so that you don't fall. You're just lifting that foot up as high as you can towards your bum, and taking it down. And as high towards you, to your bum, and taking it down. I'm just going to show you what it looks like with bands. So if you want to amplify that, if you put a band around your foot for a little bit of resistance, your hamstring is going to sing. You can do that. But for the rest, you can just stand, hold on to something, hold on to that wall and bring it down. And with that one, you are doing 10 sets of 10 again. So 10 sets of 10, just hamstring curls. Get that foot as close to your bum as possible. Do use a resistance band and do 10 sets of 10. If you're doing that, you can keep doing that while I can't do the walls and talk. It's ridiculous. Okay. And then when you're done, you are done. That is basic knee rehab. It is not designed to make you tired. It's designed to strengthen your knee muscles up. The ones that underactive, the glutes specifically to get the glutes active, to work on the stabilization of your hip. Tomorrow, I will show you how to release the muscles that should not be working. So that helps a lot especially if you do that before you start activating. If you use to kind of poke or use a foam roller on the muscles that needs to lighten up a little bit before you do it, that helps a lot to make sure that they don't work and the muscles that's lazy does work. So I'll show that to you tomorrow. The only thing I will say about the activation, so we'll do the counts again. It's 10 sets of 30 for this one. So I'll show you quickly. We'll just go through it. 10 sets of 30 for the one where you just push your knee down into the floor and continue doing that. And then you're doing 10 sets of 10 for the heel slide. I think it's 10 sets of 10. I can't remember now. If I'm lying to you, just reverse the video. It's either 20 or 10 sets of 10 for this one. And then what's the next one? Leg lifts. And then you're lying down, you're doing 10 sets of 10 with 5 sets of 10, sorry, with this one. You don't want to do it overtight, so 5 sets of 10 on this one. I'm so confusing. I hope you have pens. I'll write it down tomorrow because I keep forgetting. I'm not good with remembering numbers. Then you're going to sit up. You can either lean back or you can sit up straight. And you're just going to do 3 sets of 10 with this one, nice and slow, not as fast as I'm doing it now. It's easier when you sit back a little bit. So just 3 sets of 10 with that. And then you're going to take the band, if you have one, put it around your knees, and you're going to go into a bridge. You're going to go into a bridge. Make sure your bridge is nice and secure, where your tailbone is tucked in and your ribs are tucked in. And you're going to pulse. And I forgot how many. Please tell me how many. I think it's 2 sets of 10. You're going to pulse 2 sets of 10, but you're going to stay up between the pulses. And then pulse again. I remember, it is 2 sets of 10. And stay up. And then when you come down, you're going to go up again, and you're going to do 10 sets of 10 of the knee outs. And again, you're just going to stay up between it. So stay up. This one, I have to say, I can really encourage you to do more. 2 sets of 10 on both is fine. But if you really want to get those glutes going, you can go 5 sets of 10 if you want. So this is up to you depending on your time, but 2 sets of 10 is fine. But this one, I like to push the bridge. And then come down. And then we're going to roll up. Oh, sorry, not roll up, yes. Keep the band around your legs. Lie down on your side, and you're going to do the clam on the sore leg. So the sore leg is the one that's on top, which is my other one really, but it doesn't matter. So the sore one, the leg that you need to work is on top. And the clam is the one that you're going to hate after this, because this one you have to do quite a lot. And I forgot how many I said. It's either 5 sets of 10 or 10 sets of 10. I can't remember. I think it's 5. I wrote it down and then I left it in there. My daughter's got it upstairs. And down, and then the other one where you keep the band around your legs and you push back. Keep the tailbone tucked in, keep the ribs tucked in, and you just push back, and you do the same amount as the first set. 5 sets of 10, yes. This is quite tedious, but go for it. After that, you do your wall slides. So against the wall you go, still the band around your legs, so that you make sure that you don't knock your knees in, and you're sliding up and down 5 times. I'm getting stuck. 5 times up and down the wall. And then once the 5 is done, you rest and you go again 5 times. And the last time, you just come down and you sit there for 10 slow counts. 1, 2, Mississippi, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you turn around and you do your hamstring curls. So with this one, you don't have to have bands, but if you want to, you can use that resistance and do that kick up. Both knees next to each other, and you're just doing your hamstring curl. And that is that. I hope it was helpful. I'll buy it very confusing in terms of the counting, because oh, easy. Oh, great. Good luck. Let me know if it works on the sore knee. Yeah, sorry about the confusion. I hope you had a pen. I must have said that. Just rerun. But to be honest, it doesn't really matter how much you do, as long as you keep it consistent and you do it, well, initially twice a day for a week, and then depending on the knee pain, you can adjust it or you can stop. It depends on what the knee pain is. I mean, some people has to go on for quite a while. Some people only has to do a week. So that's all up to you. But anyway, I will see you tomorrow at 5:30, and I will show you the release techniques for the muscles that needs to kind of lighten up a little bit, so that the ones that needs to work and work harder. I will have Minion here hopefully because I'm going to show it on him and with a foam roller, but you don't need a foam roller to do this. I just want to show you where the spots is that you need to focus on when you do the self-administered massaging, or I would like to call it self-administered pain. Okay, see you all tomorrow morning for another class, and have a lovely day. Bye.